Now, the next gentleman you're going to see and hear has been a leader in his community, in his state, and in the nation ever since he was a great leader at the University of Michigan as one of the great football players of that fine university. I present with great pleasure a man who has won the esteem of all of his fellows, who is respected on both sides of the aisle, who is a team player and a hard player. He plays to win. And this is the winning year, you know. I'm honored to present the fella that's going to be the next Speaker of the House, the Honorable Gerald Ford of Michigan.
1968 is no ordinary year. The State of the Union is serious business. President Johnson came before Congress last week. The nation was anxious and waiting for his word. Never were Americans hoping harder for someone to call them to action. The people all across the nation are deeply disturbed. They're concerned about what's going on right here at home. And every day, I'm moved by the simple eloquence of their letters, their unashamed love for America. Doesn't the President listen to any of these people? They've seen raging violence, bloodshed and destruction right on their own doorsteps, their homes and stores ablaze, tanks and paratroopers not on faraway battlefields, but rolling through once quiet neighborhoods, blasting snipers from roofs and store windows. And the President could only tell us, he could ask a question. He said, is there a certain restlessness among his countrymen? Can we speak plainer than that? The answer is yes. Riots, murder, robbery, is that just restlessness? Deepening disbelief in our nation's policies, doubts about our most sacred institutions and traditions, concerns over the credibility of our government's word and the worth of our government's dollar. Do you call that questioning? The President's only explanation was, when a great ship cuts through the sea, the waters are always stirred and troubled. Apparently, the President has been standing on the stern. Looking backward at the wake, wondering which of his officers to dump overboard next. His ship of state is wallowing in a storm-tossed sea, drifting toward the rocks of domestic disaster, beaten by the waves of a worldwide fiscal crisis. The captain should return to the bridge. We need a captain who will seize the helm, call up full power, break out new charts, hold our course steadfast, and bring us through the storm. We need a captain who inspires his crew to heroic endeavor. We need a captain with courage to clear the deck and jettison the dead weight. A captain who learned his seamanship beyond the Potomac. It's no time to abandon ship. It's time for all hands to man their action stations. Let's not give up the ship. America has weathered many a terrible storm, rescued many a weaker vessel, and we'll do it again. Let's start with the USS Pueblo. We want our ship of state going full speed ahead. We offer responsible and responsive leadership that looks to the worth and to the will of our people, that turns from the tired theories and the proven failures of the past to the realities of the present and presses forward on better ways to a brighter future.
Thank you very much, Congressman Ford. Another one of these young men of the class of 1966. One of the good things that happened to us. And he's from the 7th District of Texas, if you please. Houston, that is. I'm glad to present this fine young man who's going to be a great congressman, a great legislator, Congressman George Bush from the 7th District of Texas.
Thank you, Senator Murphy. We hear a great deal today about a tax increase. A tax increase to halt inflation, a tax increase to check the outflow of gold, and a tax increase to restore confidence in the dollar. Republicans respond that before we consider a tax increase, we must cut spending. The nation faces this year, just as it did last, a tremendous deficit in the federal budget. But in the President's message, there was no sense of sacrifice on the part of the government, no assignment of priorities, no hint of the need to put first things first. And this reckless policy has imposed the cruel tax of rising prices on the people, pushed interest rates to their highest levels in 100 years, sharply reduced the rate of real economic growth, and saddled every man and woman and child in America with the largest tax burden in our history. And what does the President say? He says we must pay still more taxes, and he proposes drastic restrictions on the rights of Americans to invest and travel abroad. If the President wants to control inflation, he's got to cut back on federal spending. And the best way to stop the gold drain is to live within our means in this country. We Republicans pledge ourselves to find solutions to America's most urgent problems in health and housing and education and jobs and security. But we shall never sacrifice the American people to a cynical policy of wasteful spending and higher taxes. Thank you very much.